Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be telling you what my rankings are for the MCU Disney Plus shows. So this is only going to include the live action shows, not things like What If or the specials like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special or Werewolf by Night. This is only the series, and there are 10 of them, so I thought this could be a fun list. And it's been a long time since I did a list for anything. So let's get right into it. Starting with number 10, I have Secret Invasion. Yeah, Secret Invasion is at number 10. It was my most anticipated TV show when I heard about it, because I'm like, Nick Fury is awesome. I love Samuel L. Jackson as that character. So this can't go wrong, especially when you read what the comic is about. It's like, how could this mess up? And yeah, unfortunately, it turned out to be one of the biggest disappointments in the MCU TV history. With that being said, maybe MCU in general. So I don't know. I there are still things to take from it, I feel, but yeah, I can see why a lot of people were disappointed with this one. Going up next on the list, I have at number 9 Echo. I really was looking forward to Echo because I did like her character in Hawkeye, but I did feel with a couple of these Disney Plus shows that are on this list following this one, a lot of these ones suffer from the final episode in their season, and I do feel Echo dropped the ball in its finale. I did think the first 4 episodes were really good, and then the 5th episode just really dropped the ball, and so it is what it is. I really did love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin in this series, though, specifically one episode that really let the Kingpin unleashed. But because it did feel like the Kingpin from the Daredevil Netflix series. But yeah, the finale, it really drags it down. And when you look at the series as a whole, it was like, yeah, it was all right. Moving on to number 8, I have Miss Marvel. This was a real fun one for me. And just like Echo and some of the ones that are going to follow this, once again, it's the finale that really kind of drags it down again. But for a show, I think the heart of this series was the family dynamic, which I think it did really well. And that was the aspect that was fun again to see in the Marvels movie, with Captain Marvel teaming up with Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, who became Photon, I think that was her hero name. I don't remember now. Don't take me that as fact. But yeah, it was a fun series, and the family dynamic really is what gives it its strength, I think, in that series. Next up at number 7, I think it's going to be She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I know this show is very divided because it did go after a specific group of people. But guess what? I enjoyed She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I enjoyed the comedy that it was going for. That first episode was a really strong start. And then when it really starts cementing itself into what it's going to be, I had a good time with it. I loved Tiana Maslany as the character of She-Hulk. I think she did a fantastic job. It was great seeing some of the Hulk characters, specifically Tim Roth as Abomination, return, even though it was a very different departure at what it was originally, the character he played in The Incredible Hulk back in 2008. So it's great seeing these Hulk characters return, and I really did enjoy watching this new character of Jennifer Walters taking on the mantle of the Hulk, if you will, even though Bruce Banner is still there. And the Daredevil episode was a lot of fun, even though we know the Daredevil series is going to be completely different than what they gave us in that She-Hulk episode. So moving on to number 6, I have Hawkeye. Hawkeye is one... Before, I would have originally put She-Hulk over this one, but the more I think about it, the more I realize, you know what, Hawkeye had a lot of heart. And the first 5 episodes were really great. And leading up to the finale. It was the finale that once again dropped the ball for me here. The way Kingpin is displayed, funny enough, another series with Kingpin in it, he only shows up really in the finale. And it was a little bit of a letdown because it did feel like a watered down version of the Kingpin that we remembered from the Daredevil series that was like crazy, and how really hard Vincent D'Onofrio met. He didn't feel like that menacing character that he did. He did feel more like that in the Echo series. But other than that, I don't want this to be a down low for Hawkeye. The family dynamic, him trying to get back to his family, plus his relationship with Kate Bishop was really the heart of this series, and the Christmas theme element really worked really well. I could see myself watching this every Christmas. It's a great series. It's a great mini series for Christmas. It's kind of one of those shows that I would love to see another season, and hopefully do a better finale in a second season than they did in the first season. But it is what it is. We don't have Hawkeye a season 2 yet, but it would be nice if we got a season 2. Next up at number 5, I have Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a great series. And just like some of these other ones I mentioned, this is probably the final one where I'll say this. It suffers from a weak finale. That's what I say. I feel like the finale ends a little abruptly, where it's like the series had this really nice storyline going for it. And I think even episode 5, usually it's episode 5 of these Marvel series, which is like one of the best episodes of the seasons. And this one, again, episode 5, one of the best seasons because we really explore the history of I want to say Stephen Grant and Mark Spector. Those are the two characters. And it explores the history of them when they were kids and how they grew up, but in a really fascinating way in their minds, in like purgatory almost for Egyptians. And I think they did that really well. But then when you get to the final episode, there's the big battle, and it just ends with him waking up in his bedroom. And wait, what happened to the girl? What happened to, all this stuff? That it just ends like that? And yeah, it just kind of fell flat for me, just like most of the ones that I just mentioned. It's they all suffer from the same thing. But other than that, I think there was really strong storytelling. Plus, Oscar Isaacs as the character of Moon Knight, both Spector Mark Spector and Stephen. I want to say Stephen Strange, but yeah, I've said his name already. The way he played both personalities was really great, and I want to see where he plays the third personality. So come on, Marvel, let's get a season 2 out here. This is one of those shows with Hawkeye where I'm like, give me a season 2, you know what I mean? So let's get on to number 4. Number 4, I have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yes, I love this series. I loved it when it originally aired, and I think it's still one of the stronger series. And I actually do like the finale for this one, and that's why the top 4 are definitely the ones that I think are the best of the best. And I did love seeing the character of Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes working together. Getting to see Zemo again was such a joy. And let's all remember when we got that Zemo dance out of it. We got a fun little gif out of that because of that episode where we got to see him dancing in the nightclub. It was like all cool, man. And the only thing that I would say I didn't like about the series is the way Sharon Carter was portrayed. I didn't like the way they ended with her. At first I was wondering what's going on with this character, and then when you realize she's working for someone more sinister, it's like, I hope she's a Skrull. Unfortunately, Secret Invasion never gave us that reveal, so we're gonna have to wait until Captain America Brave New World to see what's up with her. I have a feeling she might be working with the leader. It just feels out of character, like she would be angry at the heroes and join the villains. That doesn't seem like what her type of character would have done. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe she's working with Ross. Who knows? But yeah, whatever. I still love Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think it's still one of the best TV shows. That's why it's at number 4. And it's mostly because of Sam and Bucky. And John Walker, White Russell, who plays John Walker, who will be back in the Thunderbolts. He was great in this show. He was so conflicted and messed up in the head. It's like, I love this character. So such a great show with a great cast of characters, and the way Wakanda was also integrated. Like some of the warriors of Wakanda made an appearance. Yeah, that it was all great. I loved it, and hopefully Zemo will one day return because I would love to see more of him too. I know Anthony Mackie is going to be back for Captain America: Brave New World. Sebastian Stan is going to be back as Bucky Barnes in Thunderbolts. Zemo needs to come back too. I don't know where, I don't know when. Maybe in Phase 7, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Next up, I have at number 3, Agatha All Along. This is the newest Disney Plus Marvel show. Yeah, I had a great time with this. This is a show where I'm like, when I first heard, oh, they're making an Agatha show, I thought to myself, why? What's the point of this? Like, what story do you have to tell that would be compelling enough? And much to my surprise, I ended up enjoying the trailers. And then the show, when the show finally came out and I watched week after week out, I was enjoying every minute of it. I was enjoying the mystery surrounding it, even though we all kind of knew who Billy was or William was really going to be. The way everything was revealed was great from beginning to end. And even Agatha's backstory, which was revealed in the finale, was so heartbreaking, and you kind of understand why that character is the way she is. And it's hard to make a character like that likable, you know? Agatha isn't a good person, but the way Catherine Hahn plays that character makes her really enjoyable. And she was great in another show, too, which I'll mention soon. So, yeah, this show, great cast, great character arc for both Agatha and Billy, and I'm looking forward to seeing these characters again in the future. Next up, at number 2, I have WandaVision. I mean, it's kind of suitable that I have WandaVision and Agatha back to back. But yes, this is the very first MCU show, and for a while, it was my number 1. I'll explain why it dropped in the next segment. But yeah, WandaVision, I mean, it made these two characters that were, okay, I like these characters from the movies, but it really elevated them to a whole new status for me. I love Wanda and Vision even more so than I did when they appeared in Avengers Age of Ultron or Captain America Civil War. They were like good characters to me, but they weren't great characters. I would put Wanda and Vision in my top 10 favorite MCU heroes right now. I think they are that good, and this show really made them that more interesting and compelling, and their relationship was really great. If you did not cry by the time Vision is disappearing at the end of this season, I don't know what's going on with you. You have no heart. I loved this series. WandaVision is just so good. Elizabeth Olsen is amazing. I love Paul Bettany as Vision. I liked him even when he was Vision in the other movie. But again, this series really gets us to care about their relationship. I don't think I cared about it as much in the movies before WandaVision, but really watching it here and exploring it. And then the surprises, right? Evan Peters as the fake Quicksilver. Just remember your reaction when that door opened up and you saw Evan Peters. This was like the first X-Men actor coming in to play possibly a character from the X-Men movie franchise. Obviously, it did not turn out to be that way. It turned out to be, Frank Boner or whatever. But it was such... I remember the way it made me feel when I saw that episode, and it was such an amazing feel, and I love those type of surprises. Obviously, I thought the twist was kind of a letdown when they revealed his true name, but, whatever, it is what it is, and it did get a laugh out of me when I saw it, so yeah, I give them props for making me laugh. I can't, if I didn't laugh and I was like, grr, which I'm sure some people are, but I can let go of that, and I'm like, okay, for the story that they're telling, it makes sense. I think they could have incorporated the multiverse aspect here, but obviously Agatha brought back that character and didn't fix that, so it is what it is. He is who he is, and you know what, I can do a video explaining why that's okay. Maybe I'll do that next time, but for the most part, yeah, this was a really great series. All the characters were great. I mean, Kat Dennings as what's her name? The character that she played in the Thor films. Her character, Darcy. Darcy was a character that I was like, in the Thor movies. She was okay. She had some funny one-liners once in a while. But I thought she was great in here. And same thing with Agent Woo, right? Played by Randall Park. He was great. And then Monica. I remember wanting to have a spin-off of those three characters. Give us a spin-off with Monica Rambeau teaming up with Darcy and Agent Woo, the three of them teaming up. They had such great chemistry, those three. And I'm kind of sad Agent Woo just had a small little itsy-bitsy cameo in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, where he didn't even get to say anything. He was just there having coffee or whatever. And Darcy was just there very quickly in Thor Love and Thunder. It's like, these two were so great in this show. Give us more of these guys. I mean, I don't want them to just force them into something, but I hope someone finds something more to do with those characters, because I thought all this cast was great. And obviously, we need to now get the Maximoff family together, because this show obviously sets something here that we want to see the family back together. And I think Agatha is already planting the seeds for that to happen, so we'll see. Finally, at number one, if it wasn't a surprise to you, Loki. I love the character of Loki ever since his appearance in the Thor movies. That first Thor movie was one of my favorite MCU movies, more than Iron Man, more than Captain America, for the longest time. That list might have changed, but what hasn't changed is how much I love the characters of both Thor and Loki. And Loki has been one of my favorite MCU villains, and maybe even now anti-heroes, since that first Thor movie. And this show just really progressed the character in a whole new way. Now, when it was just season 1, I did have WandaVision above Loki, but now because of season 2 and I saw the way the story closed, Loki is now my favorite MCU series. I just think it's the strongest storytelling, the best acting in a lot of the MCU movies or shows have great acting in it. Catherine Hahn, Elizabeth Olsen, Oscar Isaacs. But Tom Hiddleston and the cast that he has assembled together, specifically with Owen Wilson, great chemistry there between those two, by the way, I think really elevates Loki to a whole new level. And it just wasn't your typical superhero show. Just like WandaVision, just like Agatha, both of them, all three of these were really different from your typical superhero series. And I think that's what's going to make them the most popular of these shows. Loki was like a detective time travel series, which was really good. And as someone who loves time travel, you guys know me, I've said it many times in the past when I did a lot of movie reviews and stuff like that. Time travel movies, I love it. And time travel series as well. The Flash TV series had a lot of time travel in it, multiverse escapades. Endgame, probably one of my favorite movies of all time because of the time travel aspect. Back to the Future, specifically the original one, so good. I love Back to the Future too as well. So, I mean, I could go the Terminator franchise, right? Time travel, you do time travel right, I will be on board for that show. It's weird that I don't watch Doctor Who yet, because apparently that's a lot of time travel. But I just don't know where to start with that show. But yes, Loki, such a great character. I love the character of Sylvie as well. King the Conqueror, or Who Shall Not Be Named, or whatever his name was in the... I thought Jonathan Majors was so good as this character. I'm kind of sad of the outcome that happened, but I understand it. But he was so good as the character. I was looking forward to seeing the other versions of him. I don't know if we're going to get that now because of him being kicked out. Like, I'm curious on how... I guess you can say Loki season 2 kind of dealt with it, but it just seems like an odd way of kicking the character out and resolving that storyline. But who knows? Anything is possible. Maybe they could get him to come back for a quick cameo, especially since it seems like he's kind of making a comeback right now. I don't know. But for what it's worth, I still love this series. I think Loki is definitely one of the best Disney Plus shows. If you didn't love the character before, which I'll never understand that, because I think that character is a brilliant character with a brilliant performance from Tom Hiddleston. I don't know what you're missing out, man. This series, I think, will really take Loki to the next level. It gives him new dimensions to look at that you didn't think about. And as I said, the relationship between him and Owen Wilson is just so good, so good. And of course, the rest of the cast, the supporting cast, not just Sylvie, but the rest of the, like or B 50. I don't want to say B-52, B-15. B-15, I think that's what her name was. She was great, and she made a return in Deadpool and Wolverine. It was great seeing her again because she was last seen as the person who was put in charge after Owen Wilson, Mobius, stepped down. So, such a great series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave down what your rankings for the MCU shows are. Have you even seen all these series? I'm a MCU nerd, so I love keeping up with the MCU, and I just love this universe and what it has to offer. So with that being said, until next time, everybody, if you want me to do more videos like this again, let me know. And until next time, take care.